Welcome back to Daytime. You're on Rogers TV. I'm Glenn Coulson. Already having a party with Cathy Nesbitt. We were a great time. Cathy's Crawley composters.
Yes.
We got it. Not creepy.
Woo.
Well,
All
Halloween's coming. We could maybe incorporate a creepy thing going on.
Sure.
So many things. Small Business Week's happening. Right?
Small Business Week.
And
yes.
Waste Reduction Week is also happening.
All at the same time.
I don't know why you got the call. That's weird. Because,
is it?
You know, wait a minute. That's both your passions right now. Unbelievable. Well, it's great to see that you've made a business out of what you're passionate about. You know, saving the environment and all the rest, and doing it through composting.
I know, and making money too.
And, hey, wow, novel idea.
Yes.
I love it. Now, can we see Cathy behind these? She's so environmental. She's brought more props than her, which is great. The composting thing, you know, I mean, there's some, you know, people got their own ideas of what composting is, but let's start from the beginning. Let's talk about it, shall we?
So composting is generally done outside. Okay. No special equipment is required. It's nature's way.
Okay, yeah, right.
To look at, it's been happening
Doing
forever without us.
All righty.
So this is just taking that concept and bringing it inside. So it's the same idea as outdoor composting, except it's done inside with worms.
Right.
So not the same at all because it's done inside with worms.
Right, right. So similar with the word composting, but that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is vermicomposting, and it's, as I said, it's done inside with the worms.
And for those, I know you've been on before, but talking about like they break it down. They break down all your eggshells and everything else.
That's right. So it's all your paper.
Yep.
They require carbon nitrogen. So the carbon is the bedding. It's a paper product. So your shredded paper, leaves, straw,
and we
cardboard.
have an example of it here. We can take a look at it maybe. And what I'll do is, I'm going to bring it over here and just to get a good shot of it.
There we go.
There we go.
There, how's that?
There we go. Perfect. So this is what you start, right?
You start like this. This is the bedding material.
Okay.
So this is indoor. So anybody that lives in an apartment, they don't have a backyard for outdoor composting or access to the green bin.
Yeah.
This is a wonderful way to manage some of their paper waste and some of their food scraps.
Right.
So you start with your bedding.
Put it in there.
A little bit of soil, some eggshells, and enough water, so it's the consistency of a wrung-out sponge.
Right. Water isn't like you just pour it in there?
You mix it all together.
Okay.
Yes, so this is all mixed together.
Yep.
And then you add your worms right on top. In a bin like this, you would have a pound or half a pound. And it's red wiggler worms.
Red wigglers.
Red wigglers.
Very good.
They're small worms. They're beautiful.
So when I go to the store, where do you get them?
Well, you get them from me.
Do you? Okay,
yes,
there you
I'm
go.
a worm farmer, so I grow the red wigglers. And you do need a specific type of worm. There are thousands of different kinds of worms.
Right.
The night crawler that comes out when it rains, lives below the frost line, comes up at night. They're the tills of the soil.
Right.
Very valuable, but they're not composting worms.
They won't help you. The
That's
red wigglers. Wrigglers.
Yes,
There you go. Okay, so if I can say it right. So we go from there, so you do that, and then they basically find their way through and, well, eat it up.
Right, and then when you're feeding the food, like your banana peels and whatnot, you bury it in the bedding, you pull back the bedding, make sure that it's covered so you don't get fruit flies.
Yep.
Very important step, unless you don't mind fruit flies in the house.
No, let's not do that.
Don't be a fruit fly farmer, there's no market.
No. Exactly.
You know, nobody's buying, they're hard to catch and they die in a day or two.
It's so true. It's so true. Now we'll take a look at this one here.
And so 3 to 5 months. You're feeding about the worms eat about half their weight per day, so you're feeding about 3 to 4 pounds if you have a pound of worms per week. And I'll just pull this back. This is a finished bin. This is ready to harvest. Okay. So the worms are here. Whoops, let's see if we can see them. They're shy. They hate these bright lights.
It's hard to see, I know, in the dark. But
but they're there. Whoops. Yep. And so the worms are here. You can, I don't know if you have a good sense of smell, but this is aerobic process, meaning with oxygen.
Nope.
It doesn't smell like rotting food.
No,
if it
not
does, it's rotting food and not composting.
Right.
Right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of that misconception.
Thank you. Yes, great.
Now let's talk poop, because we did it off the top of the show.
Oh, I know. So exciting today.
Let's keep the theme just rocking through the whole thing.
We talked about fecal matter on the phone.
Why not?
Want to see my payphone?
my
cell
phone? It's
phone?
in here.
My cell phone, it's 2 quarters.
There you go.
I'm a quarter carrier.
What is a payphone? What are you even talking about?
But there's probably fecal matter there too. Okay.
Let's do a tilt. This looks like a shell game. Did you get this from a card thing you're doing?
I brought a hole in the ground, literally.
Yeah.
This is a night crawler hole.
Leaving that alone. Okay.
This
yeah. Yes, a night crawler. This it looks like a little meteorite.
Okay,
what is it? What is it? Hole in the ground.
This is a night crawler hole. This is where the night crawlers, they dig permanent tunnels. Oh, there we go.
Hold
That's
it right
beautiful.
there. Yeah,
lovely.
look at that shot.
So this is right from my garden. It's kind of light gray, so it's not as nutritious as right beside is the red wiggler. Look at beside. It's just such a different color.
Delicious.
Very nutritious.
That's the word I'm thinking of right now.
Delicious
you know
and
what I'm
nutritious.
saying? Delicious dirt.
Absolutely. If you were going to eat one, which one would you choose? But I don't recommend it.
A trick question? Okay.
Yes, don't do it.
So, and that again is because of the type of worm.
That's right, and what they're eating. So Carbonator, so paper and leaves. Carbon and nitrogen, so the leaves or paper and the food scraps. So you get a sort of combination.
Just a quick question. What's the size of the worm that has to produce that? Sorry, I get, you know.
So this is nature's finest fertilizer.
Yeah,
this is all we need to grow fruits and vegetables without chemicals. This is adding life back into the soil.
I love it.
I know.
It's inspirational.
Thank you. This is a wonderful solution to the garbage crisis. Everybody can do this.
Right. Now, again, going through it, and there's certain tools you do need. I mean, you got the paper, you need your worms, which you get from you.
Yes.
And are there certain bins or the things that keep it contained that are better than others? I mean, you've got one of these wonderful green bins.
Any container will do.
Yeah.
Any container will do.
Waterproof,
it's creating the right environment for the worms.
Yeah.
So if somebody is space challenged, then I suggest getting a container that fits their space.
Right. Well, I was just looking at this guy.
Oh,
what's the
thank you. This is a collection bucket. So if you worm compost or green bin, you need a collection bucket.
Okay.
This is called the Sure Close. This is manufactured in Ontario, and you can see that it's got a perforated lid.
Yeah.
If you have a bin and it's got a solid lid, sometimes when you open it, it smells.
Well, you get.
That's methane.
Yeah.
Most powerful greenhouse gas that we know of, being off-gassed into our kitchens.
Right.
Bad, bad, bad.
Not good.
Not good.
Yeah.
This has holes in the lid, so instead of creating methane, which means that it's anaerobic, right, without oxygen, it isn't creating methane, it's just evaporating steam, so it's actually lighter, it's not as sloppy and juicy. And if you happen to drop it, I don't recommend that you do that, but when you're taking it outside, if you happen to drop it, this is called the Sure Close.
One more time, we missed when you go outside for a walk. I want to see what you do again. Yeah, there you go. Okay, there she goes. Skips along, looking for worms.
That's right.
Okay.
If you happen to drop this one,
okay.
That's my finger.
Sorry. That's my finger in there. Don't worry about it. I got 9 others. Don't worry about it. So
you're shooshing along to empty this in your thing, and if you happen to drop it, this one will stay closed. Which is fabulous. You don't want all that stuff. I know.
What's it called? Sure
Close. And the lid removes for easy cleaning, and you can get your cloth in here, again, to get the bacteria and the grime out. It's beautiful.
Unbelievable. And they're manufactured here in Ontario?
Right here in Ontario. It's
they come with instructions and everything.
They come with, I know.
And close it, which is great. And again, I do have to mention, you have go to the website and check out more information for what you do.
Yes.
It's great. And you also have that wonderful DVD because I know you go into schools. Squirm, I love it. She's a star, which is great. But you go into schools as well. There's an educational component that kids getting them taught how to do this early. And then they come home and go, Mom and Dad, we did this thing. We got to start doing this. And
exactly.
It really takes, again, some of those misconceptions away.
Absolutely.
And helps our environment. Cathy, always a pleasure.
Thank you, Glenn.
I'm shaking the poopy hand.
I love it. But it's worm poo. It's okay.
We like to get dirty here on Daytime. Deliciously dirty. All right, but right now, thank you, Cathy. We're going to go over and see who. Are you clean over there, Jen? What's going on?